One Big Red 310s here again to talk his WrestleMania weekend thoughts. Man, what a weekend. What a weekend. Now I feel the need to cut a promo on my subscribers. If you, for whatever reason, are not in New York/New Jersey next year for WrestleMania weekend and your reasons are not financial, then you are robbing yourself as a wrestling fan. Nothing more I can say. If you do not go for any other reason besides I can't afford to go or I have a family commitment, you are robbing yourself as a wrestling fan. It's as simple as that. Because this experience is one of the goddamn greatest experiences you'll ever have in your life. You go across the whole weekend, meeting a bunch of people that you've always wanted to meet, going to a bunch of great shows, having a fucking awesome time, several days in a row, and it's an experience that you will never forget. Just like I will never forget this past weekend. And the fact that you people would not go, all because if there's any other reason besides money or family, then you're robbing yourself as a wrestling fan. I'm sorry. I hate, like someone on Twitter yesterday said, if you didn't like the Brock Lesnar segment, you're not a real wrestling fan. And I was really mad because I hate it when people say that. Who the fuck are you to decide what a pro wrestling fan likes and don't like? I like the Lesnar segment. I didn't love it. When I started watching wrestling, Lesnar was champion. I was a big Lesnar fan back in the day. But I just feel these one-year commitments to these big stars ultimately detract from the product unless they bring in such a large amount of interest that it can help the whole product gain momentum going forward. But I still think, generally speaking, I mean, he's only going to be around for a year, and then it's going to be the same fucking situation. Well, we're done with Lesnar. What are we going to do? Oh, let's get another star for a year and see how that works out. I don't think that's a proper business model. I think it's running away from them creating their own stars to carry the product for a year. That's my opinion, and maybe it's harsh for me to say that on his first night. I will wait and see. Supposedly he's going to be on Extreme Rules. That's the rumor. If that's true, wow, because I thought it was like a Mania, SummerSlam, Rumble, Mania thing. A Mania, SummerSlam, Rumble, whatever. The point is, why am I digressing? Well, whatever. The point is that I like the Lesnar segment. I'm not going crazy over it yet. I won't go crazy over it from what's online. But when it comes to WrestleMania weekend, I mean, I'm sorry. No one ever has a bad time. I had bad experiences. I got my car towed. That was no fun. My car towed in Miami Beach. Do you guys know how much that sucks? I was late to the Ring of Honor show because I spent an hour and a half in goddamn traffic. That sucked. Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus. That sucked. There's bad Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. That sucked. There's bad experiences. But as a whole, it is such a wonderful time that I will absolutely never, ever forget it. Now, I know I'm behind on my reviews. People have been telling me. People told me this at WrestleMania weekend. Your Puro list, your top 100 matches of the year is taking too long. We're already in the start of April. Listen, I do it every year. And I'm almost done. Look, on my list right now, because all that's left is the Puro stuff. That's it. On my list right now, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 matches left. 10. I just got off on spring break. I can easily watch 10 matches. After those 10, I put up the video, and then I can get started on some stuff I have over here. I actually should probably bring this. This stuff might be relevant to what's going on. Actually, a good portion of it is, yeah. So we'll talk about WrestleMania weekend. I have these two Chikara shows. I got these from weeks ago. I need to see these. I need to see these soon. All right. So WrestleMania weekend. Why don't we kick it off? We started off on Thursday night. I, for those who do not know, live in Miami. So for me, this weekend was glorious. Although it was glorious at first. I thought going into the weekend, it's so awesome, man. It's Miami. I'm going to save a shitload of money. Oh my God, I'm going to have a great time. I'm going to be able to interact with my friends down here and still go to WrestleMania weekend. It's going to be awesome. Little did I know, and True Slayer told me this was like this for him in Houston, that when WrestleMania weekend is in your hometown, it's actually kind of rough because you're constantly going back between the two places and your schedule is super hectic. Like for me, I had to take a math class one day. I had to go to my best friend's birthday another day. I had something to do with my grandparents one day. So my whole schedule was, I was driving back and forth from Miami Beach to South Miami, from Fort Lauderdale to South Miami. I got no sleep. It was very hectic. And I think that the next few years, because I'm definitely going to try to go next year. Definitely. I believe I'm going to go to school in the upper Northeast. Where I don't know where yet, but most likely in the upper Northeast. So it should be less than, wherever I go to school should be less than 6 hours away from New York. So I'm definitely gonna be there next year. I'll say that. And I think next year I'll probably I might even have a better time because I'll be with a group instead of like coming back between my house and my schedule wouldn't be as hectic. Because I know like Trademark and a bunch of these other people that stayed in a group, when the shows were done, they had to have fun with their groups for the rest of the day. Me, I had to come back home because I had commitments back home. And I love my life down here in Miami, but it'd be nice to get to spend the whole weekend with a group of people as opposed to just going back and forth, especially since those group of people I only see once a year. Everyone else, I mean, I see these guys every day. So that's why I think next year I might actually have a better time. But I still had an amazing weekend. I can't complain. My weekend started on Thursday night. What was it? The NWA Ring Warriors show. I know that Josh and Brian both really wanted to go to that show. And I personally, LV was supposed to go to Dragon Gate, I believe, but he couldn't get a car, so he ended up coming with us. For me, because I talked a lot with like Ben Turpin and a lot of people about this, they were all asking me, like even, what's his name, Mr. Jacob Cohen, for those who do not know him on Twitter. I met him at the FCW show. Even he was like, how can you possibly choose FCW over the Thursday show? The Thursday Dragon Gate show is arguably the most impressive card of the weekend. And I said, you know what? The card may be great, but I want something different. The main reason why I went to NWA was because I wanted to say on this video that I went to NWA, Ring of Honor, Dragon Gate, $5 Wrestling, and WWE. If I just went to Dragon Gate, I mean, I'm pretty sure it would have been a great experience. I heard the show was really good, but I wouldn't be the same. I wouldn't get the variety that I have now, and I like that variety. I think that's the important part of WrestleMania weekend, to experience so many different wrestling revenues at once. So I decided to go to NWA. Plus, I really want to see the main event, Adam Pearce versus a select Ring of Honor wrestler. I thought it was going to be Mike Bennett or Jay Lethal. We'll get into that. So my car, which basically I used a full tank of gas in 3 days because I was constantly driving back and forth. So I picked up Josh, Brian, LV at their place, and we drove all the way to Fort Lauderdale. We got there pretty quick. We were actually late. I thought the show started at 8. And there was a website that listed the show starting at 8. We got there at 7:55, and it turns out the show started at 7:30. And we missed the opener and half of the Christina Von Eerie and Jesse Neal versus two guys I don't know match. So that was whatever. We couldn't find seats. The place was packed. So the match, we started off with Rob Echoes, Robbie E versus Stevie Richards. This was fun. One of the better matches of the night, in my opinion. Then we saw Gangrel and Kevin Sullivan versus two dudes I don't know. I thought this was okay. Gangrel, I mean, I think Brian said this. He's still good, but this is me talking now. He was super out of shape. Like, oh my God, he was huge. He walked in and he was huge. Yeah, like, the match was okay, but I didn't expect a whole lot from it. And then I believe we walked around to the other side, and that's when Bruce Santana, who wrestled the dark match in the Ring of Honor show, fought Titan. That match sucked, and the finish was awful. The finish was a botched ace cutter sequence, and it looked awful live. That was no good. That was a bad match. And then I believe right when we sat down, can't remember if the Billy Gunn match was before or after intermission. I believe the Bruce Santana match was before intermission, but I'm not sure. But anyways, so we sat down we found a row of chairs in the back next to the speakers. And the reason that these row of chairs were empty was because whenever someone won a match and their music played over the speakers, it was loud. It was right in your ears. So whenever there was like a really hard rock music song performed for an indie guy, like you had to bend down and cover your ears. It was that bad. We moved again, but we'll get into that. So at intermission, we walked around. By the way, I believe True Slayer said this, that Christina Von Eerie is, damn, man. She is so good looking live. You don't get that impression from her from PWG or TNA, but live, like, Jesus. Like, really, I can understand. I can totally see it now, because people were talking about it before, and I never understood. Like, a bunch of PWG fans always said how great she looked live, and I never saw it. Never in PWG, never in TNA, but damn, trust me, when you see her live, it's a different thing. And I got this. Kurt Russell Reunion 3. Here, I'll tell you, my goal for the weekend, because I didn't have to pay for a flight, I saved like $100, $120 in merchandise, because that's what I knew what I was going to get mostly for the weekend. So this was the first thing I got, but many people told me it wasn't very special, but whatever. Then we saw Billy Gunn versus Vordell Walker. This was bad in my opinion. Everyone says it was slow. I didn't think it was slow. I think they tried to tell a story, and it was just bad. I didn't like it. Bad match. Then we got the Dark City Fight Club versus the Red Devil Fight Team versus the Headbangers. This match was okay. One of the better matches on the card, I would say. I didn't like it as much as the Robbie E. Stevie Richards match, but it was still fine. Then we got Kahagus versus Chance Prophet. I thought this was okay. I know everyone else hated this match. I thought it was okay. The first spot of the match, how you know you're at an indie show one-on-one. The first spot of the match, Chance Prophet runs at him. Kahagus picks him up, doesn't turn him all the way, and drops him right on his head. The first spot of the match. And me, LV, and a bunch of people around us were going, that was bad. I'm not going to lie. That was really bad. Josh and Brian got new seats. And me and LV were sitting down by ourselves for this match and for the previous match. And we were just like, where are they? Because both their phones were dead. And then finally, before the Adam Pearce match, we found them. And Adam Pearce, Jim Cornette came out and said Adam Pearce's opponent would be Adam Cole. And me and LV popped big time. Us four, like Josh said, that us four were the biggest fans of the whole show. Me and LV were the two biggest Adam Cole marks. We both stood up when he entered. We pointed at him when he entered and he was on the turnbuckle. And then Adam Cole even pointed back at us. We started Adam Cole chants. We tried to get the crowd back into it while Josh was starting the Adam Pearce stuff, is like he said. Brian was on our side, I guess. I thought this match was really good. This was actually one of my favorite matches of the weekend. It was much better than the Ring of Honor match, but that's not a knock on the Ring of Honor match. But this match, it had a bunch of near falls. Like, it was fast-paced towards the end. The crowd didn't care, but I did, so I had fun. And, yeah, I thought it was a really good match. As far as matches of the weekend, and we'll get into this, I would go Davey Elgin, Undertaker Triple H, Roxina, the Dragon Gate 6-man. No, the Kevin Steen match is above everything except Davey Elgin. Davey Elgin, the Kevin Steen El Generico match, Undertaker Triple H, Roxina, the Dragon Gate 6-man, the other Dragon Gate 6-man. And then right after that, I would either put Lance Storm versus Mike Bennett or the Adam Cole versus Adam Pearce match from NWA Ring Warriors. I just had a lot of fun with it. A lot of fun. I think the reason I liked it so much was because me and LV were so into the match. It was kind of fun that us two were like the two biggest fans of the whole match. But it was really entertaining. I really liked the match. And of course, Pearce won with a pile driver. And as Adam Cole was giving high fives to the fans. A bunch of people left. Had me, LV, Josh, and Brian went to the front row. And Adam Cole came by and shook all of our hands. And Adam Cole even looked at us. He's like, "Hey man, thanks guys. I really appreciate the great support." And we're like, "We're big fans, man. Don't worry about it." And yeah, that was night one. We went to this diner right afterwards. Literally, we were walking around. We were driving around. We were trying to find a restaurant. We couldn't find anything close to the show. And right before the entrance to I-95, there's just a big sign that says Diner. And we went in, and the food I thought was good, and it was cheap too. And all the NWA guys went there afterwards. We saw Ivan Koloff, we saw Jesse Neal, Christina Von Eerie. A bunch of those guys were there after the show. So a fun night overall. I know they all went drinking afterwards, or they went to some place. I don't know where they went, but I unfortunately had school the next day, so I didn't get home till like 1:32 because I had a shitload of traffic coming back home. So I wanted to go out, but I was like, you know what, I have school tomorrow. I got to go home. So I went home. I had an awful day of school. School was awful, as you can imagine. Just brutal experience. I was so tired the whole time. And I got home, and I wanted to go to the fan convention because I thought the fan convention was from 4 to like 7:30 until the Ring of Honor show. But then I later found out that it ended at 6. So I left my house like at 5 to go pick up Trademark. And I got lost on the way there. And when I finally got there, I picked him up by like 7. Because there was a major accident on the turnpike right by my house. A major accident. I was on the turnpike for 45 minutes. And I had trouble finding them. So I finally found them, and it was 7. And I was so excited to go I was like, we got to hurry. We got to make the convention. And they were like, dude, the convention ended an hour ago. And I was like, fuck. So we drove. Traffic was bad. That hotel was really, if you stayed in that hotel, I felt bad for you. Because it must have been super hard for you to go to Ring of Honor. Because that hotel was so far down Miami Beach that instead, because like where Brandon, LV, and those guys were, it was right by I-95. So just go pick them up and immediately turn around and get on I-95, and bam, you're in Fort Lauderdale. But because those guys were so far down Miami Beach, you had to continue going down until you hit Fort Lauderdale, and it took forever. I was pissed the whole time. We got to the show at like 8:05. We I think we parked illegally. I'm not even sure. We parked at some store that was like a few feet down from the arena. And a few feet, that's an exaggeration. We parked at a store that was farther down from the parking lot. And apparently they charge you $6 for parking, so I'm glad we did it. I did it both days. We ran into the arena. Trademark, I know, had issues because his tickets weren't ready. But I think they were, but like he was sitting with the first night. The original plan was I was gonna sit with my brother. We got third row seats. And then Josh, Brian, LV, Brandon, I think and Phil and Trademark all were sitting together. So they were already there. So Trademark had to wait for his ticket. Me and Travis, because my brother couldn't go, and Travis didn't have a ticket, Sabutine forever, so I offered him a spot because we had a great time at Death Force Honor 9. So I was actually really excited to sit with him again. And we sat down and we had an awesome time. We walked in right as a Briscoe made a hot tag in the Briscoes TMDK match, and I just saw 5 minutes of TMDK doing spots, and they looked really impressive. So I was happy. I didn't see the whole match, but that match I thought was good. I think I can say that. I just saw from the hot tag on, but it was really enjoyable. Adam Cole versus Adam Pearce. I was really happy we were going to see this match again, but they cut it short. Very short. Some of their sequences were almost identical, like spot for spot for spot, identical to their match the night before. I guess that's expected. But I was a little disappointed with how short it went, but it was fun. It was fun overall still. And Adam Cole got his win back. Bucks All Night Express. That was a very good match, I thought. I really enjoyed that match live. I thought it was really entertaining. I really like the Bucks as heels. They're doing really well in Ring of Honor. The match before intermission was Jay Lethal versus Kyle O'Reilly. I actually didn't like this match live. This was actually my least favorite match on that show. When it ended, I was just like, ugh. And like even Travis was like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't know. Adam Cole and Jay Lethal are my two favorite wrestlers in Ring of Honor. Maybe I had high expectations, but I wasn't feeling that match at all. I just didn't like it live. Everyone else after intermission was like, are you crazy? That was really good. And I was like, I didn't like it. I'm sorry. During intermission, I got this. Mainly to support the man and to see the Kevin Steen versus El Generico match from 05, which has never been shown on DVD. So that was good. We came back from intermission with Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander versus Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team. I liked this match. I know that everyone else didn't. It was almost the exact opposite of the Jay Lethal Kyle O'Reilly stuff, but I liked it. Mike Bennett, Lance Storm. Going into that match, I said, people, don't be surprised. This is really, really good to great. Don't be surprised if like this match surprise you. Don't be surprises you. Don't be surprised because I do think this is gonna be really good, and it was great live. Great match live. I was so into it. Oh, a bunch of great near falls. The first few minutes were a little slow, but overall I thought it was just a really, really entertaining match. I need to see it again before I fully judge it, but I thought it was great live. I had such a great time watching it. Then Kevin Steen versus El Generico. After this match, I said this is the best match I've ever seen live. I liked that match more than their final battle match. Maybe that had a lot to do because I was on the floor. And like when El Generico did the dot, when Kevin Steen did the senton onto El Generico on the table, I moved up to the first row with Travis because Miguel, Assault and Battery, Stevie Breach, and Man on Fire, and Gilbert Blaze and Andy were in the front row. So we moved up. We were being total dicks. Like we completely said "fuck you" to the guys in the row in front of us, and went to the first row. And literally, as I'm bending over my head across the guardrail, I see Kevin Steen come flying through Generico through the table. That experience you get from seeing that live is insane, insane. And that match was just ridiculously insane. A lot of great bumps, a lot of great brutal spots. And after the match, I go to Travis, like, that's the best match I've ever seen live. That was absolutely incredible. Like, I literally thought that was like a 5-star match when I saw it. Like, over time, like a few days after, I kind of realized, maybe not so much, but maybe because I was on the floor, but I fucking loved that match. And the main event I thought was a great match as well. Davey, Eddie, and Roddy. It was short, which is not short for them. 21 minutes is a big deal for them. It was really entertaining. The eliminations were well sold. Davey had some really good combinations in the first few minutes of the match. There were some great triple threat spots. I really liked the match. I thought it was a great match. So after the show, I thought the show was tremendous. I thought we had a great main event, a great Lance Storm match, an amazing Kevin Steen match, a good opener from what I saw, a very good Young Bucks match, a fun Adam Cole match. The Jay Lethal, I liked the Coleman Alexander match. The Jay Lethal Kyle O'Reilly stuff I didn't really like. But overall, after that show, I thought it was an awesome show. Like, not just a great show, an awesome show. I had a great time. And we went afterwards to a bar. I don't remember what it was called. It was me, Brandon, LV, Josh Bryan, Trademark, Matt on Fire, Miguel, Assault and Battery, Stevie Breach. I might be missing someone. And Phil. And we had a lot of fun at that sports grill. The wings were incredible. I've had some great wings down here in Miami. Those wings were great. They hold up. They're not sports grill. Sports grill, for those, look it up. Those are the best wings in Miami. But these were close. And it was just, and Phil got into an argument with everyone about Tim Tebow. And the waiter comes over, who's a Giants fan, and we told him Phil was a Pats fan. We were giving him shit. And Phil goes to the waiter and he goes, yo, but you have to admit this. Come on. Does Eli Manning, because we were giving him shit that Eli Manning owns Tom Brady. He said, does Eli Manning own Tom Brady? And he goes, oh, of course not. And Phil goes, exactly. And the waiter goes, no, of course not. The Giants are a very well-rounded team with many great strengths in their defense, which is why they've been able to win 2 Super Bowls in the past few years. Even though I've been saying that for years, but whatever. Phil didn't hear that. So Phil was like, thank you. And then he goes, I love you so much right now, man. All you need to do is say you like Tim Tebow, and then you'd be the greatest waiter ever. And then the waiter goes, yeah, if there's one thing I could say about Tim Tebow is that he can fucking go suck my dick. And Phil put his head down in depression and walked away. Oh my God, that was such a great moment. I popped so hard for that. And the food was really great. I didn't get home till like 3:30 that night because we were at the restaurant after the show. Then I had to drive all the way from Fort Lauderdale. But I had a great time. Then I had to wake up early the next day for my math class at 9 a.m. So I went to Target and I got streamers because I didn't say this. On the Friday show, Andy, the guy who sat in front of me, he told me he didn't want to go to the Saturday show, so he offered me his first row ticket. And I was like, at first, like he offered it to me earlier in the show, and I was like, I don't know, man. And then midway through the show, my friend sent me a text that a project that we had to do that weekend was going to be done Sunday during the day. And I was upset because I really wanted to go to Wrestle Reunion. So all that money I saved for merchandise, I was like going to waste. So I go to Andy, and he offers it to me, and I'm like, how much? And he goes, $80, and the ticket cost $100. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to Wrestle Reunion. Even though I already have seats, because the next day I was going to sit with those guys who sat in the bleachers. Even though I already have seats, I'm going to take it because first show is going to be an amazing experience. And I'm so fucking glad I did that. So then I got streamers. Lots of streamers. All those streamers you saw during the Saturday show, most of them were probably from me. Because I threw a lot. I usually started the streamers. And not only that, when the streamers came down, the guy that was putting them away, when some of them still were like full, he would throw them back to me. And he would throw me other people's that were still full. So I had so many streamers that I was throwing throughout the whole show. And it was a lot of fun. The throwing the streamers experience is a good experience. I think more people should do it. And so I sat first row. I was so excited. The El Generico Jimmy Jacobs match, I thought was a good opener. The Cedric Alexander Tommaso Ciampa match, I thought was a good squash match. And I thought it was one of Ciampa's better matches in Ring of Honor. Fire Ant versus TJP, I marked out, of course, for Chikara. I threw 3 red streamers at Fire Ant. That was a little too much. But I love that match live. That match I thought was the 3rd best match on that show. I really did. I thought it was a really, really good match live. Cole O'Reilly, I didn't like at all, but what can you do? Everyone knows what happened there. I was pissed live, but I was like, well, can you really blame them? And then they went to intermission, which I thought was a mistake. I thought they should have had Cole and O'Reilly actually do their match, and then show it afterwards, which they're doing anyways. They ended up showing the O'Reilly-Cole match, right? Because the feed cut out. So they ended up showing the match. So instead of stalling for time, why don't you just have them have a match? And then fuck it. If the feed doesn't come back on, fuck it. We're gonna put the match on after the show anyways. So why did you have to kill their match? I didn't like that. I thought they should just let them have a match and say, they should have just bit the bullet and say, well, we're not going to wait for the feedback. Let's not kill this match. Let's let them have a match. So the live crowd will be happy, and then we'll put it on after the show. It's not hard. They could have even mentioned it on commentary. It's not that hard. So I was not happy with Ring of Honor when they did that. Bucks All Night Express Street Fight, I thought was a very, very good match. Probably the second or third. Either tied with the TJP Fire Ant match or just slightly above it. Then was Briscoes Wrestling Greatest Tag Team. I also thought this was a very good match. I thought this was the best match these two teams have ever had. That's including their 9th anniversary show match, which going into that show, I told everyone who was marking out like fucking crazy, I told everyone, calm down. It's probably barely going to be good. And now everyone was like, no, bro, tag team classic, bro. And then it ended up being a very good match, but nothing special. And not as good as the match on Saturday, in my opinion. Then we got Kevin Steen, Eddie Edwards. This was good. It was just like, I was kind of shocked by the finish. It kind of came out of nowhere, but I think Steen was hurt, so I'm cool with it. Jay Lethal versus Roderick Strong. I really like this match as well. This, TJP Fire Ant, ANX Bucks. Take your pick as far as who's second, tied for second, third, tied for third. All three of those matches were really, really good. I kind of saw those matches in the same plane. But anyways, the main event. The main event. Oh my God! Now, throughout this whole show, I'm having an amazing time throwing streamers. The guardrails are awesome. That part of the Ring of Honor experience, just going bam, 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 bam. That was awesome. And throughout the whole show, I got chants started. I was really into it. You really feel like you are a part of the show. You feel like you are a part of the experience of delivering something tremendous when you're in front row. It's a special feeling. And in that match, when those two guys, Davey Richards and Michael Elgin, that I was going insane. Like, as soon as Davey hit that dragon suplex, I literally was like this, watching the match, leaped up, did like a double leg split in midair, and then got to the guardrail. I was like, rah, 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 rah. Like, I was going insane throughout all the near falls. I was going crazy on the guardrail. You could probably see me on the show. I've never had that great of a time at any entertainment venue ever in my life. That is how big this match was. There was ROH chants. There were "This is awesome" chants. "This is wrestling." Michael Elgin, Davey Richards. I wanted to bring the Davey Richards love back because I'm not the biggest Davey Richards fan, but this weekend he did impress me. And I was like, we should at least try to get a split crowd on this. So it'd always be like Davey Richards and like tap, tap, please don't tap. Me and the guy next to me was a huge Michael Elgin fan. I counted 4 times where I was like, holy shit, Michael Elgin's going to win the title. Like, it was like that. 4 times where Michael Elgin did something and I was like, holy fuck, they're going to put the belt on Michael Elgin. Like, that's how much the match, like, got into me. I thought for sure he was winning the title. And like I said, I just went insane. And then after the match, I'm just looking at the guy next to me. We both looked at each other, both tired as hell, and we're just like, wow. We left the arena, and like I meet up with everyone else, and they're like, wow. And like we're all just like this. And like Trademark's coming up, and he's like, that may have been the best match I've ever seen. I was like, dude, hold on. I need a second to process what I just saw before we talk. And like for a few seconds there, I was just like, I can't speak. I'm so blown away by my experience that I can't speak. So I walked, and then after a little bit I go to Brian, what do you think? And he was like, I thought it was better than Davey Tyler. I thought that was an absolutely amazing experience, like blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, man, it was pretty awesome. And then I walked back into my car and I drove home, and the whole time I'm just going, wow. Like the match, I've never been so taken over by a match before. I've never been so encompassed by an experience like that before. The match really just took me. And like I said, I still think back on it now, and I just can't believe I saw the match live. I've yet to watch it again. I'm kind of afraid to. I think it would hurt the experience. But I also know that Nigel and Kevin Kelly supposedly did an amazing job on commentary, and it helps the match a lot. So we'll see. But basically, 5 stars without question. The best match, the best Ring of Honor match I've ever seen. I've gotten that far. Like, not only is it my favorite match ever, that's without question, my favorite pro wrestling match ever, without question, that match. But, like, as far as compared to Joe Kobashi, Joe Punk 2, the Dragon Gate 6-Man, Danielson Kenta, Ladder War, I have this match above all of them, and always will. I just can't forget me leaving that arena and not being able to speak, and driving home and just being so overcome by the match. Like, literally, I couldn't do anything. I said this when Brandon did his top 10 mark-out moments, and I did a response video. At the very end of the video, I said a true mark-out moment is when you mark out. Like, you are so amazed by what you see that you're not even readily conscious of what's going on. Taker Michaels 1 did that for me. Where throughout towards the end of the match, I was just like... Ladder War 1 did that for me. I watched it on this computer. And I remember, as I'm watching it, and the spots are going on, I'm just like, wow. I was marked out. Davey Michael Elgin, I was marked out. I literally could not concentrate on anything. Like, I was so overcome by that match. That is why that match, most likely, is my favorite pro wrestling match ever. I'd have to watch it again, and I know when I watch it again, I'm going to be like, damn it, because it's not going to have the same effect. But, as of right now, my favorite pro wrestling experience ever in anything I've ever done. I was that overcome by the match. And again, maybe a big part of it's because I was there first row. Because first row, I was just, like I said, I can barely speak about this match. That's how, wow, it was just something incredible. So that show, I thought the people were crapping on the Saturday show. I thought, hey, let's see, we have the best match in Ring of Honor history as the main event. We had a very good Jay Lethal Roderick Strong match, a very good TJP Fire Ant match live, I thought, a very good Young Bucks ANX Street Fight, a very good Briscoes Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team, a good opener between Generico and Jimmy Jacobs. Yes, they fucked up big time with Cole and O'Reilly, but that was a small part of the show. Almost all the matches were good, with the main event being amazing. In my opinion, that's a great show. I'm sorry. So, and I need to see it again on pay-per-view, on DVD, whatever, but I was so overcome by that match. So, I drove home. It was my friend's birthday. I kind of felt bad. I missed most of it because I was at the Ring of Honor show, so I spent as much time as I could with him. We hung out throughout the day with all my other friends. We went out to eat, and then I left the restaurant at 8, and the Dragon Gate show started at 8. And I called Brandon, and I was like, yo, see if you can save me a seat. And he's like, dude, there's like 2 empty rows in front of us. And I'm like, I should have known. That's Dragon Gate. So I'm driving over there. I park in a parking lot where the entrance does not say anything about a tow, but the exit does. So I just go through the entrance, and I park, and I go to the Dragon Gate show. I get in right as AR Fox is doing spots on Eric Cannon. I can't judge the match. I only saw like 5 spots, but the spots were good. The Sabu, Sami Callihan, I was bored by this match. I went to the merchandise table, and I just said, fuck it, I'm not watching that match. Then I went to get a drink. Then I came back, and I saw the ending. The ending was okay. I would say it ended up being fine, but nothing really that special. I just didn't enjoy it that much. The 6-man elimination match, the 6-man high flyer match, or as we called it during intermission, the flip match. Generico versus Lince Dorado versus Samuel Del Sol versus Sema versus Chuck Taylor versus Rich Swann. That match was awesome live. And when Generico came out, he got a huge pop. That match was so much fun live. And I remember during the match, like the MB wrestler who was sitting by me. I sat with LV, Brandon, Trademark, Man on Fire, Sabutine Forever, and Johnny Thunder and MB wrestler. And I think everyone else was at the Hall of Fame. But MB wrestler, like in the middle of the match, like, why are people going crazy? It's just spots. And he is a wrestler, so like he has a better opinion than most, or a more insightful opinion than most. And I just go to him and I was like, this is the type of match that live is amazing. Maybe you watch it later and it's not as good, but live, this experience right now that we're having, that's what it's for, and I'm loving it. And I thought the match was great. Great match, I thought. Really enjoyed it. Intermission came. I spoke to DJ Hyde at intermission. DJ Hyde is one of the greatest, he's one of the nicest guys in wrestling I've met. Like, he was so cool with us. He talked with us for a long time, just about everything related to pro wrestling, everything related to CCW, the guys he liked, the guys he didn't like, the talent. He was such a cool guy. And I like CCW. I'm behind. I haven't seen a show since Tournament of Death, but or Prelude to Violence. No, Tournament to Death. But when I was watching it, I did enjoy the product. And I unfortunately did not buy as many DVDs as I would have wished. And by as many, I mean 0. But still, I was a big fan of the product. And I was talking to DJ, and he was like such a great guy. And he was talking to us for a long time. We talked to him again after the show. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to stop by and I'm gonna get something. So I got this show. Because for my top 10 matches of the year, I forgot to mention this. After the Puro matches, there were 3 CCW matches I wanted to see. And I was just going to get the shows. But since DJ was so cool to us, I thought, you know what, let me make this guy's day. So I bought this show, Night of Infamy, with the Adam Cole, Sami Callihan match, which is supposedly great. And DJ gave it to me for $15. And then at the end of the show, this was during intermission, then at the end of the show, we were talking for such a long time about everything related to pro wrestling. He was so cool that I said, you know what, let me get this show as well. Tangled Web, with the Drake Younger, Scotty Vortex blow-off, which I heard was insane. And DJ Hyde sold me this show for $10. And I said, whoa, why? And he was like, I know you're a fan. You're here. You're being supportive of the promotion. So I know when to take care of my fans. So I'm going to cut you a deal. $5 off, not $5, 30% off. I was like, wow. And then right before I left, I bought Cage of Death because I wanted to see the Sami Callihan AR Fox match, which I heard was great. And that was also for $5. And this is the kicker. They actually got it signed by AR Fox. That's awesome. Like, AR Fox was just walking by, and DJ goes, yo, sign this for this kid. And I was like, yeah, man, I'll sign it. And he just signed it and wrote it. And I was like, man, I'm a big fan of you, like blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, man, that's cool. And then after he left, DJ Hyde goes to me and he goes, that guy right there is the New Age Rob Van Dam. And I really realized that. Back to Dragon Gate. Gargano Yoshino, I thought was very good, but I didn't like it. I mean, I was a little underwhelmed. Gargano is in my fave 5. Daniel Bryan, Mike Quackenbush, Adam Cole, Jay Lethal, Gargano. And I was really looking forward to Gargano's match, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would for whatever reason. It was really good still, but maybe it's because I had such high hopes. And the main event was excellent. An excellent Dragon Gate 6-man. Excellent Dragon Gate 6-man match. I really, really, really liked that match. Great match. I can't wait to watch it again. I talked to Brian Alvarez during the show. I finally got to meet him. He was really cool. I got to talk to Vinny from Brian and Vinny. He was really cool. And Vinny told me that the Davey Elgin match was the best match he had ever seen live. I think Brian said the same thing. Then, after the Dragon Gate show, I got a few drinks. I talked to DJ Hyde, obviously. And then I went to $5 Wrestling. $5 Wrestling, I didn't know that it was not a live presentation because I know they have their own wrestlers, so I thought it was going to be their own wrestlers with Cabana and Marty DeRosa on commentary making fun of them the whole time. But it wasn't. They got out a projector and we watched horrible indie matches for 2 hours. It was fun though. The main event of the $5 Wrestling show, because the goal is to get really awful matches. The last match was The Overtaker versus Dick Foley. And they were both dressed in Undertaker and Mick Foley costumes. Hilarious. There was a match with SD Jones that was funny as shit. It sounds awful, but it's amazing. They get horrible matches and they on commentary bury the matches. It's so funny. And after the show, I talked to Cabana. I got him to sign the Cabana t-shirt, which I don't have on me. And I was like, hey, Cabana, my little brother, the only reason he started liking Ring of Honor was because of you. And now that you're gone, he doesn't watch anymore. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And he goes to Generico and he goes, hey, Generico, you hear what he just said? That his brother won't watch Ring of Honor more because of me? Why don't you tell your boys that? And Generico was like, oh, si, ole, ole. And then I just go to Cabana, so does that mean there's no hope of Cabana back in Ring of Honor? And he just goes, fuck those assholes. And he grabs a beer and he sits down. I felt terrible. I mean, I expected that answer because obviously they're not working together. But still, like, I didn't know it was like, fuck those assholes. That really, like, hit me hard. I was like, damn, like, a realization came over me. Wow, he's really never coming back. And I got $5 Wrestling, the show where Freight Train won the title. So there was that. Then I got my car towed. Then I went home. The next day, I couldn't go to Wrestle Reunion, obviously. And so I woke up late. I finally got a full night's rest. I watched the True Story of WrestleMania documentary to get me hyped for Mania, and it did. That documentary is really good. I went to Mania, and I had a great time. Don't want to talk about it too much because I want to see the show first before I comment on it. But I will say that I was super pissed at the opener, like most people were. I thought Kane Orton was a good match. I thought the women's match was okay. Apparently it was really bad on pay-per-view. I thought the Cody Rhodes Big Show match was okay. I thought the 12-man tag was okay. I thought Taker Triple H was awesome, but it wasn't near. Maybe it's because I wasn't front row or on the floor, but it didn't give me near the experience that Davey Elgin or Kevin Steen versus El Generico did. I liked Jericho Punk. I thought that was a great wrestling match. I thought that was a great professional wrestling match. That's the best way to describe it. And the main event I thought was awesome. The main event I thought was the match of the night. Rock Cena. My God, maybe it's because my section was really into it. There were a lot of fuck you, Cena, Rocky. Like my crowd. That's the type of match that's for the live crowd. Everyone has talked about this. The finish was for the live crowd. That match was for the live crowd. Because I was going crazy during that match. Everyone in my section was super into it. It felt like a big-time deal. This felt like a big WrestleMania main event. That's why live it was awesome. Awesome match live. It was my favorite match on the show. Taker Triple H was close. But Taker Triple H, I don't want to say I wasn't into the near falls because when they did do the super kick pedigree, I did pop, although not as hard as I did last year for the tombstone. But it is true what they say. Unless they get one of these young, upcoming wrestlers, like a CM Punk would have been something. Unless they do what they did with Randy Orton in 2005, I don't think they're going to get people to believe the streak's going to end. I don't think someone like a Triple H, John Cena, The Rock, I don't think these guys are going to be the ones that end the streak. I think fans are starting to realize the only people who would end it are people who would gain something from it. So if they do a Randy Orton type situation in 05, that's when I think people will start buying into the near falls. But right now, I don't think they will because, like I said, people just don't see these guys breaking the streak. But it was still an awesome match live, and her JR made it even better. But the main event, to me, was my match of the night. I thought that was incredible. So overall, WrestleMania weekend, amazing. All of you, please do everything in your power to try to go next year. I promise you, you will not regret it. It's an amazing experience. Thank you all for everything. Thank you to everybody I met. Thank you for all the great times we had. And thank you for everyone who came up to say hi. Thank you. And I really look forward to seeing you all next year. Big Red 310. I'm out, guys.